All right, so our next step here is we have to dismount the tire from the rim. Okay, so the first thing, a couple things we need to know first. And so number one is going to be that there is a ridge underneath this rim. Okay, so down here, if I can show you, if you can see, here is where the bead rides, and this is the ridge right here. Well, in order to get this tire off, the bead has to go underneath this ridge right there, because if it stays up in this top part, it will end up tearing the bead, and so we can tear the rubber off the bead and then the tire's ruined. So we don't want to ruin the tire, especially if we're putting a new tire on, so we don't want to do that. So we got to remember to keep this bead underneath that ridge in there. So what we do first is we take soap. There's a soap dispenser right here, soapy water, and we're going to just take it and get that bead nice and soapy. And so what that does is that stops it from sticking, makes it nice and slick, and we're not going to tear that bead. Next step is we're going to take the duck right here. They call this a duck because it looks like a duck. It's got a little, if you look at it this way, it's got a duck bill right here, and there's a little tail on this side over here. So we're going to say this is the duck bill, the duck head, and the duck tail, okay? And this is our clamp right here. This here is going to make it so this will stay down once we put that onto the rim. We're going to clamp it up right here. Push that clamp up like that. And then that's going to stop this whole thing right here from moving up and down. And so now we're clamped, we're ready. If you're using some really nice rims, and you don't want to wreck your rims, you don't want to scratch them, this is called a rimless tire machine. And so what you do is you take this adjustment tool right here, and this turns in to where it will take the duck, and see how the bill will just come off of the rim. So this piece of metal isn't actually touching the rim at all. And we do that by adjusting this out just a little bit, okay? You want to make sure there's no weights on the rim. Looks like we're good. There's no weights on this side. Next step is to take the pry bar or the tire spoon, okay? And this is the tire spoon. You're going to take, it has a little curved edge on it right here. And on this curved edge, we want to get that tire on that curved edge. So we're going to go on the duck bill, right there on the duck bill, and we're going to try to get that edge underneath the bead of the tire. And we're going to push down on this side to get underneath that ridge we're talking about. So push down a little bit there, and you're going to pull the spoon or the pry bar all the way over so that the tire is on top of the duck head. I'm going to take my left hand, put it on my pry bar, the spoon, hold it in the center. I don't want to be next to the ridge over here on the rim, because as this spins around, I can get my fingers caught into this duck over here, and it can hurt you. So I'm going to hold this in the center right there with my fingers wrapped around it so I don't have any fingers poking out. I'm going to take the spin button, which is the one on the right. That's this one, and I'm going to take that, I'm going to hit that down, and it's going to rotate to the right, clockwise. And then once that off, I've stopped. I take the tire, I pull it towards the duck like this so I can see down inside the tire now. I'm going to take the tool again on the duck bill, and I'm going to try to get the bottom one, the very bottom, the bead down there on top of this. Now this, I can't pull this over, so I have to lift the tire up in order to pull the spoon over. So I got to lift up and the tire and the spoon at the same time, and then pull it over so I can get that duck bill or the tire over the duck bill on that side. Okay, and then I do the same thing, grab the middle, keep my fingers in, hit the rotate button on the right, and that spins that tire off there. Now I'm going to just swing this out, and that's it right there. That's how you take the tire off.